Thrive. Heavy lies the crown. We're going to take a quick look at this city builder just before the release on June the 18th, 2025. I guess it's similar to Anno in many ways, but it does have a lot of differences as well. I picked this up a while ago because me and my mates were looking for a multiplayer city builder. But when I did get it, it was not ready and it had a lot of bugs at the time, so we couldn't really get into it. But yeah, like I mentioned, it's just about to release, so let's have a look what it's like now. Yeah, but in this video, I'm going to take a look at the single player side of things. Just have a quick look, see what it's like starting out. Basically on the left and the right here, you have a few different starting zones. Now, it doesn't make too much difference. They all have the same resources. But when you get into the game, there's little zones around these that you can actually take and build other smaller cities that have different types of resources. But we'll have a look at that in a bit. Then in the center of the map here that you can't see at the moment is where the AI lives. We'll see that when we get into the game. You can set your own flag here, and then you set the same name as well. The flag's got some different colors, some different patterns and so on, so you can have a play around. There's two difficulty levels, normal and hard. I'm unsure if that'll change at all on the 18th when it releases. We'll have to wait and see for that one. So you see one of the different things about this game as soon as you start really here. You get to choose kind of what direction you want to start your city off as. You know, you get to choose like vigilance, which is basically kind of military side of things, prosperity, which is money, wisdom, which is like research and growth of your town. So you kind of choose the direction you want to go. And at different points during the game, you kind of interact with councillors of your kingdom, I guess. And again, you get to choose some different directions and they advise you in different ways and you get to choose different paths, I guess, to take for your city. There's a tutorial as well if you want to do that. It'll take you through all the basics of building a town and get you to a good point in the game. So here's a quick look at the world map. As you can see, there's additional zones around the one you've got, and those additional zones will have different resources that you can get. So at some point you'll need to expand into these other zones. But when you start out, you start with a caravan, and you've got to basically choose a location where you want to build your kind of main building. And I would say it's probably best to build it near stone and wood. Those are the two main resources you need when you start out. So as long as you have a good supply of that, I think you're going to be okay. Placing buildings and stuff is pretty straightforward, similar to any other city builder. They require a certain amount of resources to build, so you've got to make sure you have the resources to build the buildings. And yeah, you just place them down where you need them to go. It's basically a grid system in this, so you know they'll fit up to the grid, so there's no kind of free placing like some other games, like I guess Manor Lords and so on. Quickly go over the UI. Down the bottom is you got your buildings, so each of those you can select. You'll get different types of buildings down there. Top left at the very kind of top, you got your gold, and then you got your influence. And then you got pollution, your caravans, and so on. You got your workforce, your population, your happiness of your population, basically the morale. You got to make sure that keeps up, otherwise you can have riots. Then you got all the resources and so on. Pretty straightforward. Again, if you played other city builders like this, you'll be pretty used to this. Basically, to start with, you've got to make sure you build enough houses for people to live in. You've got to make sure you gather enough resources and make sure you've got kind of like a food source for your guys. The job section is pretty key to this game because as you can see here, I've got a problem. I've got some buildings where no one's actually working. But what's happened is everyone's working in my two kind of gathering camps and nowhere else. So I have to pull people out of working in those camps so I can get people working in the other buildings that I've built. Now, this is a constant thing that you're going to have to keep on top of, I would have thought, because you're going to be building more and more buildings as you go along that require different people to work in them. Now, obviously, your population will increase as you get along as well, so, you know, it's a bit of a balancing act. But if you do notice one of your buildings isn't doing anything for whatever reason, then it's probably because there's no one working in there, so you've got to jump into the job section and take a look. Another thing you'll get introduced to early on are edicts. They kind of give you a bonus to something. It costs you money to do. They'll give you a bonus, but there's usually a negative that comes along with that, as you can see here. And then I guess the next thing to really look at, I mean, you got diplomacy for the later game, but here is your kind of research tree. Basically, as your buildings progress through the game, you'll get kind of two choices how to upgrade them. Sometimes there's three, but most of the time it's just two, and they'll take you down a separate path each one. So you got to kind of pick and choose how you want your to build your kingdom, I guess. And then the masteries are kind of upgrades as well, but these unlock as you go through the game. So when you make decisions, they can unlock masteries. Here we see in the statistics page, it gives you an overview of your production, your trade, and your population, and so on. I mean, it's obviously going to be a useful tool when you actually get further on into the game. Now, when you get a bit further into the game, there is combat. You can build a couple of different troop types here, as you can see, and you can upgrade them as you go along as well. I think you need to use them to basically take over other territories and expand your kingdom during the later game. So this is another one of the nice features of the game that I quite like. Every few days in game, you'll get an event that happens. Basically, you got chancellors, I think they call them, that give you advice on doing different things. This is the first one. So what it is, you got three of them. They'll basically want you to kind of move your city in a certain direction. One of them will be wanting you to move it towards like building a military up. Another one will be wanting to kind of build like an economic money empire up. And the other one will be wanting to kind of build a sustainable village to start with. So you just basically choose kind of what direction you want to go down. And you'll get a different bonus, or you'll get gifted different items and resources depending on what choices you make. Here I went with the making a sustainable kind of village to start with, so you get some extra food to make sure your guys basically just have enough food to last it out, and it's quite a nice boost to what I already had. If you went down the military route, you would get some militia and so on, or if you went down the money route, you get a bit of extra gold. I would have thought to start with. Yeah, that's a quick look at Thrive. Heavy Lies the Crown. I didn't want to get into it too much because obviously the game's going full release on the 18th of June. So I'm going to jump into it properly then. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the multiplayer side of things as well because my mates have been looking for a multiplayer city builder for a while now. Yeah, we used to play Anno a lot, but that's got a bit buggy these days. So, yeah, we were looking for something new. And this has come a long way since I picked it up last year. So they've been doing well in their early access updates. So hopefully the release is going to be good as well. So I want to say thanks to everyone. If you want to see more videos like this, please like and subscribe. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks.